Let's talk about Tylenol because I can't take it. Let's talk about blood thinners, which I am not willing to take. Not only because I'm not into taking microdoses of rat poison, Mommy! Which is what many blood thinners are,
Mommy!
But also because I have an undiagnosed blood clotting disorder.
Mommy.
Let's talk about how they feed you if you're on a ventilator. Because if you're on a ventilator, you can't eat. So they have to put a tube down your nose, down your throat, into your stomach to feed you. And what are they feeding you? According to a Google search, here are some examples of typical macronutrient ingredients in standard formulas. Corn syrup solids, maltodextrin, which can be made from wheat or corn, hydrolyzed corn starch. Let's talk about my scar. See this scar right here? If I am unconscious and somebody touches this scar, I'm not going to touch it because I don't want to be in pain for a few days. But if somebody touches this scar and just barely taps it, 3 days later I'll wake up feeling horrific pain right there where they touched it, wondering what happened. Let's talk about drug-induced comas because I don't want to be put into one. Let's not just talk about my own personal sensitivities. Let's just talk about coronavirus or COVID19 and whether or not the hospitals are prepared to take care of a normal person with absolutely no allergies and absolutely no sensitive areas on their body, much less whether they're ready to take care of a person who does have allergies and does have sensitive areas on their body. And while we're having this horrific talk about what the doctors might do to you while you're dying of coronavirus in a desperate attempt to keep you alive, let's just go there. Let's talk about dying itself. Let's talk about Tylenol because I can't take it. I can't take Tylenol or ibuprofen or acetaminophen, which may possibly be the same thing, just called by two different names. Nor can I take naproxen or any other NSAID, which is a non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drug. Other than aspirin, I can take aspirin. But if I want to take aspirin, it can't have cornstarch in it because I'm allergic to corn. So if I want to take aspirin in a pill form, it has to be specially ordered, and it's going to take 1 to 2 weeks for a compounding pharmacy to make me an aspirin pill that I can take. The reason is that when pharmaceutical companies make aspirin into pills, they get aspirin that comes already premixed with cornstarch. To get aspirin without cornstarch, a compounding pharmacy has to request aspirin without cornstarch, not from the companies that make the pills, but from the company that supplies them with the aspirin that they make into pills. So, if I end up in the hospital with a high fever caused by coronavirus, I may end up in a situation where they can't give me anything to reduce my fever because the only drugs they have available are either drugs I'm allergic to or drugs that I'm not allergic to, but come in a form where they are premixed with foods I am allergic to. Let's talk about prednisone and other steroids, because there is like no way in hell that they're going to give me a steroid if I'm sick from an infection. Steroids decrease your immune system's ability to fight infections and generally make you sicker for longer. Let's talk about blood thinners, which I am not willing to take. Not only because I'm not into taking microdoses of rat poison, Mommy! Which is what many blood thinners are,
Mommy!
But also because I have an undiagnosed blood clotting disorder,
Mommy!
Which, although doctors have not been able to diagnose, I can guarantee you that I definitely do have. Let's talk about how they feed you if you're on a ventilator. Because if you're on a ventilator, you can't eat. So they have to put a tube down your nose, down your throat, into your stomach to feed you. And what are they feeding you? According to a Google search, here are some examples of typical macronutrient ingredients in standard formulas. Corn syrup solids, maltodextrin, which can be made from wheat or corn, hydrolyzed corn starch, glucose, which can be made from corn, fructose, which can be made from corn, sucrose, which can be made from corn, sugar alcohols, which can be made from corn. So, what are they going to do if I end up in the hospital with coronavirus? If they can't give me a medication because the medication contains corn, and it's going to take like 2 weeks to get the medication without corn, if they can't feed me because the feeding solution contains corn, and God only knows if there's one available without corn in it, and how long it's going to take for them to get it. Like, if I need a medication right now, or if they have to put me on a ventilator right now, and I have to be fed, or else I'm going to like starve and get dehydrated, and they have to give me some kind of feeding solution right now. Are they going to feed me something I'm allergic to? Or let me starve while they wait days or weeks?
Do you know what I'll do for you?
To get something I'm not allergic to? What are you going to do for me?
I won't visit you in the hospital.
Why?
Because I don't want it. If you got it and I don't, me and the family won't visit you.
Even if you had it, they wouldn't allow you to visit me though. Like, even if we all tested positive.
We wouldn't all be in the same hospital room?
If you were not sick enough to be hospitalized and I was, they wouldn't allow you to come visit me even if we both tested positive.
Well, that's probably good, because then I'd be going to the gas station to get gas and whatever from here to there, and walking through the hospital.
No, it's a violation of my human rights, because if I had any other disease other than coronavirus, I would have the legal right to have a person who loved me be my advocate and make sure they didn't give me things I was allergic to, for example. But if I have coronavirus, well, I guess I don't have that right, do I? Oh no, hell no, I still have that right. Anyone who's hospitalized with coronavirus still has that right. So if the hospital tells you, oh no, your loved one who is already infected, who can't spread it to you or catch it from you, can't come visit, or your loved one who is not infected can't come visit you wearing PPE, they are violating your rights. This is the most disturbing thing to me about the possibility of being hospitalized with coronavirus, that they could potentially put things I'm allergic to into my body, and nobody who cares about me will be able to be there to advocate for me and prevent them from doing so. Let's talk about my scar. See this scar right here? If I am unconscious and somebody touches this scar, I'm not going to touch it because I don't want to be in pain for a few days. But if somebody touches this scar and just barely taps it, 3 days later I'll wake up feeling horrific pain right there where they touched it, wondering what happened. One of my biggest fears is that somebody will touch my scar while I'm unconscious, and when I wake up, I'll wake up writhing in pain because they touched it. Because I have severe nerve damage because of that scar, and another scar that's under my arm that I'm not going to show you right now because I can't really show it to you without showing you my boobs, and I don't want to show you my boobs right now because right now I'm not wearing a bra, people, because I normally don't wear a bra because the scar right here that I just showed you and the scar under my arm, which is from a chest tube that they put in when they did the surgery that caused this scar, are so painful and are in a place on my body that makes it almost impossible for me to wear any kind of bra, because the bra touching the scars will cause me to be writhing in pain for days after I wore the bra. So, let's not just talk about my own personal sensitivities. Let's just talk about coronavirus or COVID-19. And whether or not the hospitals are prepared to take care of a normal person with absolutely no allergies and absolutely no sensitive areas on their body, much less whether they're ready to take care of a person who does have allergies and does have sensitive areas on their body. Do you think that you will be treated with dignity and respect And do you think that you will be treated with the same level of dignity and respect that you would be treated with if you had another disease? Because I don't. You hear about people with coronavirus getting ICU delirium because they are on a ventilator in the ICU, heavily sedated, and nobody is there to talk to them, to tell them what's going on, so they become delirious because they don't know what is going on. But if they were sick from any other condition in the ICU on a ventilator, their relatives would be there constantly talking to them, telling them it's okay, relax, you're in the ICU, you're on a ventilator, and they wouldn't become delirious because they knew what was going on. You hear about people with coronavirus dying alone. Their relatives are not even allowed to talk to them during their last few minutes of life to say they love them and say goodbye. You hear about this and you probably are horrified, but guess what, people? You would be a lot more horrified if it was actually happening to you. Much more horrified than you are like when you read about it on the news. Oh, breaking news. People are getting ICU delirium from coronavirus. Let's talk about drug-induced comas, because I don't want to be put into one. If I have to be put on a ventilator, I don't want to be sedated to the point where I'm in a coma. I would rather be aware of the fact that I'm on a ventilator and the fact that there are tubes poking in and out of my body and needles poking in and out of my body. I would rather suffer through the pain and discomfort of these things poking in and out of my body than be unconscious with the doctors doing things to me that I wasn't aware of. And while we're having this horrific talk about what the doctors might do to you while you're dying of coronavirus in a desperate attempt to keep you alive, let's just go there. Let's talk about dying itself. Do you want your body buried? Do you want your body cremated? Do you know that scientific research says your brain might be alive for hours or days after you die? So if you're cremated, you might feel your body being burned alive. So let's just say that I want my body buried and not cremated. Well, if that's what you want, does your family know that's what you want? You better tell them now, because if you're sedated into a drug-induced coma on a ventilator because you have coronavirus, well, how are you going to tell your family that? I feel the need to talk about these horrific things right now, things that I never in my wildest dreams imagined I would be talking about in a video that I would be posting online on YouTube or other sites, because they're reopening all the states, even states where the rates of coronavirus infections, hospitalizations, and deaths are increasing. People are going out in public, often not wearing masks, acting like the whole coronavirus thing is over, when it's actually worse than it was when they originally started things like lockdowns and started doing things like closing businesses. It is more dangerous to go outside and socialize with other people in public now than it was a few months ago. But they're telling people it's okay to do that. And by people, I mean you. You're going to get coronavirus if you trust the government and do what they tell you it is safe to do. So, if there is some kind of hospital or some kind of medical treatment facility that is willing to give me the medical care that I desire, if I get coronavirus, I'll go there, because I don't trust my local hospitals to give me the medical care that I desire. I trust my local hospitals to mistreat me and possibly kill me, not to keep me alive. Not at all whatsoever. And I'm sure a lot of people watching this feel the same way about their local hospitals. I am now going to end this video. But before I end this video, I want to say something. I hate everything about this entire situation. And I rarely use the word hate, because hate is a very strong word. And I believe the word hate should only be used when you are feeling extreme extreme emotions, which I am. I hate everything about this coronavirus situation. Every single aspect of it. I hate the fact that there is a virus that's most likely a biological weapon that accidentally or purposely was released from a laboratory that is killing millions of people and making millions of people sick. I hate the fact that people are not able to socialize with each other without risking spreading said virus. I hate being at home without my friends being able to visit. I hate not being able to go shopping and having to pay much more money than my groceries would normally cost to have them delivered. I hate talking about things like feeding tubes and ventilators on video. I hate arguing with people online about whether or not the coronavirus is actually dangerous or whether or not it actually even exists. I can't even list the things that I hate about this situation, and I'm sure I have left some out, but hate. Hate is how I feel about this entire coronavirus situation. With that said, I am now going to end this video. And I'm sorry to end it on a negative note, but it's not really possible to end a video about such a negative topic on a positive note. All I can say is, please like this video, share this video, watch my other videos, and subscribe to my channel. And if you would like to help me out to make more videos, you can by donating money to me on Patreon or other sites, or buying things for me off of Amazon or other sites. Thank you for watching. Bye, people.